Bodie, California, the last ghost town in America. Today, Bodie is preserved in a state of arrested decay as a California State Historic Park. The ghost of Bodie lives on in the weathered wooden buildings and rusting metal artifacts. These are relics of the roaring 1880s and one of the richest gold strikes in the world. I'm Dr. Michael Perry. I first came to Bodie in the mid-1950s. My relatives lived in and around nearby Levining on Mono Lake. Some even worked in Bodie in her declining years. Bodie is quiet now, but it didn't used to be that way. Gold was discovered here in 1859 by William S. Bodie. Immediately, the town's cruel winter took its first victim. Bodie himself was lost in a blizzard and not even found till next spring. Some say his ghost still roams the windswept streets and permeates the walls of the groaning buildings. Despite its unbelievably harsh weather and inhospitable surroundings, Bodie grew to be the second largest city in California by 1880. It was second only to Baghdad by the Bay, San Francisco, in size and wealth and sin. Bodie supplied San Francisco with gold, and San Francisco supplied Bodie with materials and people. Gentlemen and not so gentle men. Not too many women in the early days. Bodie grew to over 10,000 people by official estimates, and actually it was probably more like 14,000 since women and Chinese were not counted, and there was a substantial Chinese community. The gold rush was over. The heydays of Bodie came to an end, but the last nails in her coffin were the disastrous fires of 1898 and 1932. Today, Bodie is preserved in a state of arrested decay, which means that the California Park Service and the Friends of Bodie attempt to slow down its demise. This video does that too. We want to keep the essence of Bodie alive. We cannot preserve the past, the roar of the stamp mills, the fires, the lives. Those are all gone. But we can preserve the present, what we have today. Tour with me a Bodie rarely seen by the nearly 200,000 people who come to pay their respects each year. Those who come are tourists, the curious, the reverent, and the preservationists, family and friends of those who have gone before us in Bodie's turbulent past. Wake up to sunrises before the park opens, and stay late to see Bodie by moonlight. And just maybe, see some of the houses lit by lanterns of those long gone. Explore inside buildings not accessible to the general public. See Bodie nearly buried in a blanket of harsh winter snow. Tour with us the Bodie of today. Let's start right in the middle of town, the corner of Main Street and Green Street. Looking south on Main Street, we see probably the most recognizable buildings in Bodie. The red brick building is the DeChambeau Hotel. It also served as post office and boasted one of the largest bars in town. Next to the hotel was the Oddfellows Lodge upstairs, and below, the Bodie Athletic Club. The Miners' Union Hall was the center of social life in Bodie. Celebrations, stage shows, and dances kept this building lively. My Uncle Budgie would walk all the way from Levining, over 13 miles, for the Friday dances. Today, the Union Hall is the Bodie Museum. Next to the dance hall was the morgue, just in case you couldn't walk back to Levining. The Boone store, butcher shop, and gas station sit on the northwest corner of Green and Main Streets. Now, Harvey Boone, a direct descendant of Daniel Boone, by the way, was one of the most prosperous merchants in town. You could buy just about anything at the Boone store. Just up the street is the Lottie Joel house. Now, Lottie was a prominent fixture in the red light district until she became respectable and married a prominent butcher. North of the Lottie Joel house is Sam Leone's bar and casino. It seems that along with other pleasures of the flesh, drinking and gambling were an integral part of the hard life in Bodie. Further north up Main Street is the Chinese Laundry. This is what's left of the bank owned by James Stewart Kane. The vault and beautifully painted vault doors are still here. The livery stable and blacksmith shop sit at the far end of what's left of Main Street. To keep Bodie supplied with goods and wood took many wagons and hundreds of horses and mules. The jail was the temporary home for many of the bad men of Bodie. Even though fire was Bodie's biggest enemy, the firehouse still remains. And inside, there are some beautiful man-drawn hose carts. The Wheaton Hollis Hotel, Bodie's store, and assayer's office contain some of Bodie's true historical treasures. East of the Wheaton Hollis is the schoolhouse, a substantial building standing ready even now to teach those who want to learn. Now up Green Street and right on Park is the Cameron House. Martha and James Stewart Kane lived there for a time, and I did too. The Seiler House. Mr. Seiler was one of the many successful barkeeps in town. The sawmill, used mainly for cutting firewood, kept Bodie alive during the bitter cold winters. all the wood, and wood powered the mill and kept the town warm. All the wood had to be brought in from great distances. The James Stewart Kane house is still the most elegant home Bodie has ever seen. Kane ended up owning the Standard mine and mill and just about the whole town as people left. His heirs finally sold the town to the state, and in 1962, Bodie became a state historic park. Rumor has it that one of the Kane boys had eyes for my grandmother, Eva. Across the street from the Kane house is the saddle room, full of tack, bridles, and collars, just waiting. Next to the Kane house is the Miller house. Tom Miller worked at Mono Mills, and most of the lumber that built Bodie came from there, just south of Mono Lake. The Methodist Church was built in 1882. Religion came late to Bodie. Up the hill from the town, up on the west slope of Bodie Bluff, is the ominous Standard Mill. The mill was destroyed by fire in 1898, but was rebuilt the very next year. The Standard and other companies produced bullion totaling nearly $100 million. That's billions by today's standards. Old Uncle Alex ran some of the highest yielding ore through there that anyone had ever seen. As shadows lengthen and deeper colors come up in the sky, even the silence takes on a new tone. If one imagines hard enough, the golden glow of long-since extinguished lights. Moonlight fills the shadows. Winter is Bodie at her harshest and most beautiful, the seductive bride in white, and so very, very cold. Bodie took many lives, especially in winter, like Uncle Emery, who stuck his pick into a blasting cap. As the sun sets on Bodie's snow, we see the most breathtaking images she has to offer. Even Bodie's bitter winter nights always give way to a new day. Now all that is left is Bodie herself. She's like an elegant lady to whom time has not been kind. Her wood and iron barely hold on in arrested decay, yet her spirit is as alive as ever. The collective lives played out here are an amazing legacy to the human spirit. Children learned here. Women and men laughed and loved here. They overcame hardship, and every one of their spirits survived. It's so important to preserve the material body of Bodie, so that as many people as possible will come to know her mind and her true spirit.